the family. So just want to take you guys like one step further. And so now, I hope you guys are seeing the little journey we're all going through together. Oh, here's God. Oh, and here's my son Jesus. I want you to be friends with him. And a lot of us as Christians kind of stop there. But God comes in three, right? Father, Son, and Holy Spirit. Yeah, the Holy Spirit. It's like, who's the Holy Spirit? Well, I can tell you about him today. Okay, I'm so excited. Anyway, but before I start that, think about things that you have now that you look back in time that you never had before, and you're like, how did I live without that? Like for me, like texting, right? When texting came out, at first it was like, okay, this is cool. Instead of having to pick up a phone call or you just want to tell someone you're on your way or whatever, real quick response, you don't want to talk to someone on the phone very long. Texting is like the best thing, right? I don't know, that's for me. What about you guys? What's something that you're like, man, I don't know how I lived without that for so long?
SFC.
Aw, SFC. Nice. Yeah. Okay, anyway. So, but my point is that there are some things in life that we have now that when you look back and you didn't have it before, you just realize how your life changed just a little bit. Or even people that you met, one of my best friends now, if I never, joined this community in high school, she's impacted my life so much. She's helped make me become such a good person. I just wonder, what my life would be like without her or without my family here in SFC, or Signette said, without SFC in general. I'd be in California and probably have no friends. But yeah, so to me, that's kind of how my life with the Holy Spirit is. I've lived so long without it, and it wasn't until someone not only made the Holy Spirit become reality versus just a concept, and truly showed me how to use it in my life, that's when I was like, whoa, what did I do before? The way that I make decisions now, which I'll get into later, it's the way that my life is now, it's how did I do that without the Holy Spirit, So I hope that at the end of this, all of us together can look and say, oh my gosh, there's God and the whole Father, Son, and Holy Spirit. I hope that we can take that extra step and say, yeah, Jesus has been knocking to be our friend, right? And we're starting to reach out and let him into our lives, but now to really let him move us in our life with the Holy Spirit is the goal for all of us. So, that said, think back in the day. Back in the day, pre-Pentecost. Somebody had asked, if you lived in Jesus' time and you saw Jesus do the miracles that he did, would you be a believer? And a lot of people say yes, because if you see it, how could you not believe? But honestly, when I have actually asked myself that question, if that were me, if there was some guy who was making the blind see or the deaf all of a sudden can hear, I'd freak out. I honestly think he was some magician type, I don't know, sorcerer, I don't know, I wouldn't know what to think, my first instinct wouldn't be oh my God, this guy's here to save the world. I honestly would think that, but it was because of when Jesus said that he had to leave earth, he's like, hey guys, this is in John chapter 16, he was like, I have to go somewhere, I'm going back home. And I have to go so somebody else can come. Because you guys can't understand my words. But when somebody else comes, you'll be able to understand. And all of his apostles were like, huh? Can you just tell us straight? And Jesus was like, I can't, because you won't get it. And so it wasn't until he left that the Holy Spirit could come in and work in the lives of the apostles. And then people were slowly starting to see that the work of Jesus wasn't simply limited to him, but it was the gift of the Holy Spirit that was given to all the apostles. Hence, the whole book of the Acts of the Apostles are the Acts, the doings of the apostles, right? So it's if you read that book, all the fun miracles, all the miracles that they did, all, everything that started the whole, Christianity, religion, like, isn't that book. So saying that, back in the day, when the apostles allowed the Holy Spirit to come into their lives, that's when Christianity was like, it was like rapid, it was like exciting, you know. And think of the day, so like, okay, so the day of Pentecost. How many of you guys are familiar? If not, I'll do a quick story. When Jesus said, hey guys, I'm leaving, someone's coming, you know, just wait. The apostles were like, all right, well, wait. Finally, they waited 50 days after he rose from the dead. They were in a gathering. It was Pentecost. It was a Jewish holiday. There's a bunch of people from out of state coming in. I don't know. Out of country, I guess, not out of state. You know what I mean? Yeah. Okay, so like, let's pretend, right? There's a bunch of people from out of state that came in, kind of make it more modern time. And they were waiting, and all of a sudden, the wind started blowing, tons of fire came down. It was just mayhem, right? And the apostles all of a sudden felt this Holy Spirit. This is the coming of the Holy Spirit on the day of Pentecost. Came down, and all of a sudden, they were like speaking in different languages to everyone else that was there celebrating Pentecost with them. And these out-of-staters or out-of-towners were like, okay, they're Gentiles. How can they speak my language? Like, how is he speaking this language? Or how is he speaking that language? Like, it was just crazy. And so someone was like, oh, don't mind them. They're all drunk. Okay? And then Peter was like, guys, I'm not drunk. We're not drunk. This is what God was saying, or Jesus was saying. He said when he leaves, someone's coming and we'll all understand why. And that's how it all started. That's how Christianity started to come to life. Because the Holy Spirit came into the apostles and gave them a power, in a sense, to be able to relate to everyone, to bring Jesus into their lives as well. And on that day is when thousands of people were baptized, thousands converted to Christianity, and then they all moved forward with the life of the Holy Spirit. So that's why I say, back in that day, that same Spirit is the same Spirit that exists today. It's not like a different one. It's the exact same Spirit. It's the exact same quote-unquote power. It's the exact same, like, concept, you know? But they put it into practice. And many Christians still do today, but I feel like not enough do. You know what I'm saying? Like, if we all took that same power, that same, like, zest, and used the Holy Spirit as a catalyst in our life to really move forward and bring Christ to the world, having the life of the Holy Spirit, things would be a little bit brighter, you know? I truly believe that. And not just 3,000, like in the Bible, you know, it says 3,000 were converted that day. How many more people can we convert to Christ, you know, if we take that same power, that same Spirit, and actually live our lives that way? So that's the life that God is asking for all of us to have, a life with the Holy Spirit. Not just to live our life off of our own willpower, but to truly have a new heart. So it's funny because the first example that came to my head was Tin Man. And not to like, because Gerard is Tin Man for Halloween, I was like, I wasn't really thinking of that, but it just so happens. Anyway, wait, what? Oh, you were a rope, okay, anyway. So the story of the Tin Man, right? He was just like a walking figure, felt like he had no heart. That's why he was going to Oz looking for a heart, you know? So in a sense, to me, it was like, sometimes that's the way we live our life. We're just walking through this earth doing things.